Hello. Today, we dive deep into the recent tensions between world leaders. Remember the photo that went viral? The one where President Joe Biden was seen pointing a finger at Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau? Well, that's just the tip of the iceberg. Let's rewind a bit. Trudeau's first trip to India in 2018 was riddled with controversies. From his choice of traditional attire, which many deemed excessive, to the more serious blunder of inviting a convicted terrorist to a state dinner, the visit was a PR nightmare. The trip was seen more as a family vacation than a diplomatic mission, and it left a sour taste. Fast forward to the recent G20 summit. The tension was palpable. Remember the moment Trudeau awkwardly pulled his hand away from Modi? It was clear, the relationship is strained. And the cherry on top? Trudeau's plane breaking down, symbolizing the stalled relations between the two nations. Let's delve into Trudeau's recent interactions, especially with Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi, and what it means for Canada. India isn't just any country, it's one of the fastest-growing economies in the world. As Canada unveils its new Indo-Pacific strategy, it's becoming increasingly isolated from two major economic giants, China and India. While our issues with China, from the kidnapping of our citizens to economic warfare, are understandable, why the strain with India? Let's talk numbers. Canada's economy is currently growing at a rate of 1.5%, with predictions of it dipping to 1.4% or even lower. India? They're booming at 5.9% and are expected to leap to a staggering 7% soon. With India's economy being nearly double that of Canada's, it's clear, we need them, perhaps more than they need us. Under the leadership of Stephen Harper, Canada and India enjoyed flourishing trade relations. We didn't just trade agricultural goods, we were their source for fertilizers and uranium for their green nuclear power. But under Trudeau? Negotiations for a new trade agreement came to an abrupt halt. And while Britain is on the verge of sealing a deal with India, Canada remains in the dark. Saskatchewan, which accounts for up to 40% of all exports to India, is demanding answers. But so far? Silence. Trudeau and Modi? They're not on the same page. Especially when it comes to the Sikh community. The farmer protests that began in India in 2020 saw Modi taking a firm stance, perceived by many as harsh. Trudeau, on the other hand, voiced support for peaceful protests and freedom of speech. But here's the irony, while he champions these rights in India, back home in Canada, he invoked the Emergencies Act to quell similar protests. Canada is home to one of the largest Sikh communities outside of India. And they're influential. Modi's policies, particularly his response to the farmer protests, haven't gone down well with the Sikh community, both in India and Canada. Trudeau's vocal support for their concerns might earn him points domestically, but on the international stage? It's a different game. Is Trudeau prioritizing his political interests over Canada's broader economic needs? With India's economy on the rise and Canada's growth stalling, can we afford to strain ties with such a crucial trade partner? Diplomacy isn't about agreeing on everything, it's about finding common ground for mutual benefit. Trudeau's responsibility is to all Canadians, not just specific communities or his political base. In conclusion, as Canada navigates its place in the global arena, strong international relationships are more crucial than ever. It's time to look beyond short-term political gains and focus on the bigger picture. What are your thoughts on this? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more insightful content.